In these problems, we are multiplying decimals by whole numbers. So we have 0.32 as our decimal and 2 as our whole number. We're going to multiply those together. For some people, this can be a little bit counterintuitive, not what you expect, because you think when you multiply, the result should be bigger than either of the numbers you started with. When you have a decimal that's less than 1, that's not going to be the case. This is going to be less than 2. It'll be more than the 0.32, but it'll be less than the 2. To set this up, you're really going to do this just like any multiplication problem, and at first you're going to ignore the decimal point entirely. And then later, we'll figure out how to put the decimal in the right place in the answer. So let me set this up. I'm going to put the bigger number, and well, if this is not greater than 2, but it has more digits. So that's what I'm meaning by bigger right now. I'm going to put that up top. And I wrote the 0 here, but I am going to ignore that because it's just a 0 and it's not going to add anything to the answer. And then we'll put the 2 down here. Okay, so we've got 0.32 times 2. Now, I'm just going to approach this like a normal multiplication problem, as if this were 2 times 32, ignoring this 0 up here. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 3 is 6. So that's my answer, except the answer to this problem is not really 64 because we have to put a decimal point in somewhere. The rule is you count the number of digits behind the decimal point to the right of the decimal point in the things you're multiplying, and that's how many you have to have in the answer. So I've got the 3 and the 2 being to the right of the decimal point, and those are the only digits behind any decimal points here. So that's a total of 2 digits. So in the answer, I have to have 2 digits behind the decimal point. So both of these have to be behind the decimal point. Then I'll go ahead and add that 0 up front because we usually write it that way. So our answer is going to be 0.64. Okay, let's try another one. So this time we've got 0.03 times 9. So let's go ahead and set that up like a normal multiplication problem. 0.03 times 9. And I'm going to go ahead and multiply 9 times 3. That's 27. And because the rest of these are zeros, we're going to ignore them. And so I'm not carrying the 2 anywhere. I'm just putting the whole 27 down here. And then the next step is to figure out where to put the decimal point. And again, I count the number of digits behind the decimal point to the right of the decimal point. In this case, it's the 0 and the 3, so that's 2. So I've got to put 2 digits behind the decimal point. So I'll put my decimal point there and put a 0 in front of it. So that is a little bit of work with multiplying decimals by whole numbers.